Okay, everyone, we're back, and we're going to talk more about the book that I'm writing. And honestly, this is just going to every update video right now. I'm just going to talk about everything because I don't get enough views and I don't have a following. So if you're watching this video, you're watching probably the first video of this little series. So I'm gonna go through the whole book that I want to write. Now, this is a candle. That's it. I just wanted to show off my candle. It smells great, and I can't smell normally. All right, let's get into this book that I really, really want to write. That's my cat meowing. All right, the world lore. I should probably start off with that because I only have like 12 characters made. So I should probably tell you guys the lore of the world and where we are before I get into the characters. So, hey kitty. The world, the beginning. Everyone to ever live is a descendant of one being, like our world. You know, if you believe in God, everything is a descendant from God. Except, this is different. Except one person, thing, persons, whatever it is, it's different. Not just different, it is different. No words can describe it. Every possible thing to ever exist looks nothing like this being. If you think it talks, you're wrong. If you think it's silent, you're wrong. Everything you could possibly think about it is wrong. So whatever your imagination comes up with is wrong. All right, and this is important because there's two beings in the beginning. One made everything. One is like our God. The second one didn't do anything. It's just the second being. And because everything was made in the first God's image, anything you could possibly think of is not the second being. I just thought that was a cool story, you know, like a cool, like, I just thought that was different. All right, that's the world lore right now. There is more. And I have to go to the plot. Okay, the plot. This is the plot of the book. In a war-stricken world, there's a boy who wants to end it. At first, it's for his kingdom, but as a twist realizes his kingdom is deeply corrupted. In fact, every kingdom is deeply corrupted by something bigger than the war, the god of war. When the world was created, the many gods maintained balance, but the god of war took it all, killed all the gods. So, there are two creators, two gods, right? They made a whole bunch of beings, and every being has the potential to be a god. Because everything was made in God, like that one God's image. So, for that to be possible, everything has to be able to reach the original God's level. No, the original God disappeared. No one knows where he went, but he only disappeared after a bunch of gods were already made. But the God of War was like, actually, guys, I want non-stop fighting. And so he killed all the gods and forced the world into 10,000 years of straight war. Now, eventually there's going to be the hero, and the hero is the main character. And obviously, I thought this would be cool, and I stole this from Freewin. Freewin? I don't know. I just thought this would be cool to add in there. There is a sword destined to be used by the hero, but when the hero goes to draw the sword, it doesn't move. And everyone's super disappointed, but no one knows it didn't move because it wasn't needed. I thought that'd be cool. Like, no one in the world will know that except for the readers, but I just thought that would be really, really cool. Okie dokie. I don't have the start, middle, or ending done, but I do have a idea for magic systems. There's going to be 9 kingdoms and 9 magic systems. Each magic system is going to be different. And before I get into the magic system, let me tell you guys how the power system works. So every being in this world has an inner dimension, and that inner dimension can be pretty much anything. And depending on which kingdom you're part of, you use a certain magic system to access that dimension to draw power from it. And I'm not going to call it magic system because when I think system, I think of that like isekai pop-up screen with the stats. It's not going to be any of that. So I have to come up with a different name than system. But, so I'll give you an example. The main character... No, I don't talk about him right now. Just say, like, if your dimension is full of swords and blades that are just floating around endlessly, and you use your magic system to access that dimension. You know, the higher your dimension, the more powerful, the more connected you are to the dimension, the more weapons you can use, and the more powerful they are. Just depends how connected you are to your own personal dimension. And they can be anything. Dimensions can be super simple. They can be super complex. Depends on the person. All right. Not everyone draws mana the same way. It depends on your body, but let it be known that no matter what, if you work hard with any magic system, you can become a god. Pretty much saying no matter what you use, you can reach godhood level. There is no one system's better. They're all equally different. Magic system. There is no mana in the atmosphere that you draw from. Oh, this is a magic system idea. There is no mana in the atmosphere that you draw into your body to rank up. Instead, everyone has evolved to take in various things into the body, like oxygen and food, to naturally develop mana. That's a really weak magic system. Probably not going to use it. Okay. Now let's go to the goals I have. We're 6 minutes in. Let's talk about the goals. Goal number 1: have 50 creative characters with fleshed out personalities and problems that seamlessly interact with each other. That's a lot of work to do. If you notice, like most novels have like 12, 20 characters, and even then, like you really get to see like 7 or 8 characters fully fleshed out. But I want 50 fleshed out characters. You won't see them all in the novel, but there'll be like you'll only see a glimpse of this world. But there will be 50 characters and 50 storylines going on with each character. It's gonna be a lot of work. Goal number 2: come up with the 9 kingdoms that rule the world, where they are, what they look like, the culture around them, and remember that they've been standing for tens of thousands of years. They're gonna have very, very different and deep traditions and culture around them. And I wanted every kingdom to not, at least to the best of my ability, not be like our world. Like I don't want a kingdom that's like Japanese or German or American. I want it to be completely different, out of this world, different cultures, different, something you wouldn't see in this world. Number 3: come up with the ending after we have the character list. The ending, I don't know the ending it's going to be. I only plan writing 1 book, so yeah, I'm going to have to fit this in 1 book. It's a lot of work. Number 4: come up with an order of operations. Right now, they're come up with characters, how they connect to each other, create the ending, come up with the middle, the start writing the main character with the main character's POV, but keep in mind that things happening with the other characters around the same time. Set up the goals for each chapter before you write it. Okay, this is my order of operation. I'll explain this so you guys can understand. Come up with the characters. That's basic enough. Connect them, assign their kingdoms, assign who they like, who they dislike, who they're neutral about, and then when that's established, come up with the ending I want for my book, and then once the ending is established, come up with the middle of the book, where I want everyone to be in the midway through, and then very last, come up with the starting point for all the characters. I'm working backwards here. I think that's an easier process of writing. And then it says start writing from the main character's point of view. I'm not going to do that. What I meant by that, because there's going to be a narrator. I don't want it to be a biased writing. Okay, I don't want it to be biased towards main character's point of view. I want there to be an author who's neutral. So I want the narrator to focus on the main character and pretty much only the main character, but keep in mind what the other 49 characters are doing at the same time. And then for every chapter, set up the goal for every chapter before I write it. So by the end of this chapter, what needs to happen? And I don't know how many chapters I'm going to have in my book. I've never written a book before. I don't even know the fucking process. I'm making this process up. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but it's the way I'm doing it. All right, enough delaying. I think it's time to go through the characters I have right now. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 established characters. And let's start off with the main character, shall we? We have Noel Moss. He's 6 foot, 22. He's white. His clothes are silk white. Body, he's male. He's skinny and he's very lean. His kingdom, I don't even have the kingdom established yet, so I don't know what kingdom he's part of. The personality, he's a very optimistic kid who presents very happy and forgiving, but is deeply distraught and unhappy. Okay. Their dimension, like what's the dimension inside his body? A place of endless energy that is 7 levels, and Noel comes to interpret this dimension as lasers, when really it's a powerful dimension that is the embodiment of power and energy. So he looks at his dimension, a big ball of energy, and thinks of it as lasers. So, his power, what he gets from the dimension, the power he gets from his dimension is shooting lasers. But the lasers flow and can be controlled like water or be sharp. So they could be normal lasers, they can like flow like water, it could be a shield, doesn't matter. The lasers are whatever he wants them to be. Also, the lasers are green because I said so. I wrote that down. Very important. Green is the best color. We're not having no red, no blue, green lasers. Down the road, he'll be able to engulf his body as pure energy that absorbs and redirects any magical attack. That's when he realizes his dimension isn't just lasers, it's energy and power itself. And the magic system, how they connect to the dimension. I haven't come up with a 9 magic system yet, so I left that blank for now. I don't know how he's going to connect to his dimension. Weakness, physical attacks. Down the line, he's completely immune towards magical attacks, but not physical ones. Even when he just has the lasers as his power, any sword or fist that can withstand the heat will just go right through and hit Noel. So he's not invincible. You just need to be very, very physically strong to beat up the main character. Alright, Noel Moss. That's Noel Moss. We have Pearson O. He's 5'11", 18. He's Asian. He wears red clothes. He's male. He's very buff. Personality, a no-nonsense stoic guy who says few words, but deep inside is the most spontaneous, joyful man who has nothing but freedom and glee, but that part of him is trapped. So, he's very, very no-nonsense, stoic, serious guy, but deep inside of him is very spontaneous, joyful man who is nothing but, who's like the embodiment of freedom and glee. And I'll tell you why he's not acting like that. Their dimension, a place of endless freedom within this dimension, is Pearson's emotions that are sealed off. The reason why he's not always gleeful and doing whatever he wants is because those parts of him are sealed off within his dimension. Pearson's power is body enhancement. Further down the line, the more emotions he can feel within his dimension, the more powerful he can become. At the very end of the book, at his strongest, he is freedom, the embodiment, aka God of freedom. He can do what he wants. This character's stronger than the main character. I thought it'd be cool to have a side character who's stronger than the main character, who's not like originally stronger, but just does become stronger than the main character because... And this character's based off Luffy from One Piece. I think it's kind of obvious, like the embodiment of freedom, doing whatever he wants, like his powers, whatever he can come up with. Like, come on. Alright, weakness. His main weakness is psychological attacks that dim his emotions and make him weak. Magic and physical attacks still can hurt him when powerful enough. So, if you are stronger, like your metrics of your body, you have more mana, you have more strength in him, he will get hurt. I mean, he can't just not take any physical or magical damage. He's immune to anyone weaker than him, but if you're stronger than him, you can hurt him. And if you have like a psychological attack and it reaches him and it dims his emotions, his power just gets weaker because his power is based off his emotions. Okay, Amaya Gray. What they look like. She's 5'7", she's 25, she's black, she wears purple clothes, her body's female, and she's very, very lean. Their personality, a realist who has compassion for the people around her but won't hesitate to get the job done even if it goes against her ideals. So if she's ordered to kill her best friend, she'll hate it, but she'll do it. Kind of badass. That's what I imagine this person to be. The dimension, a vault full of magical guns and targets. With every level, the number of guns and their power increase. So, in her dimension, she can practice shooting her guns or whatever power she has, on those targets. Their power. She can summon guns, and every ninth shot is a guaranteed hit. So if she's like super strong, she's more of like a mercenary type of person, so she'll never be the strongest, but she'll get really strong. And if she summons her machine gun, and every ninth shot is a guaranteed hit, I mean, brother, if you're not like super powerful, you're probably gonna die. Weakness. Heat that can melt through the bullets that she makes. Also, close combat is hard because she never had to learn with her powers. So if she's ever in the permission if she's ever in the situation where she can't use her powers, or she ran out of mana, or she's exhausted, and she only can rely on her physical strength, she's kind of screwed. Yeah. All right, Paul Collins. What they look like. Paul Collins is 6'5". He's 54. He's white. He wears black clothes. He's a male, and he's very skinny. I just put skinny, not very skinny. Personality. Extremely suicidal and depressed, but lacks the real courage to let others kill him, because when he killed himself the first time, he became scared. He's a good man whose family he accidentally got killed. He has mixed emotions about getting revenge and just wanting the fighting to stop. You might be wondering, killed himself the first time, how is he alive? Watch this. That will be explained. Their dimension, a torture room full of ways he can kill himself. He can die in this dimension to see what power he'll get beforehand. Each power up he can have a power on standby. You might be thinking, that makes no fucking sense. A dimension where he can kill himself to see what power he'll get? What does that mean? Well, this is his power. When he first has this power, so when he first finds out what power he has, he can kill himself and use a power. I.e., if he stabs himself, he'll have the power to fly. If he shoots himself, he'll have super strength, but he won't have the power to fly. Oh, I should probably talk about this character. Okay. A character that has to die to start fighting. The more painful the death, the more powerful he becomes. But if he dies from others, he's dead for good. His power changes every time he dies. Certain powers are given depending on how he dies. I.e., if he stabs himself, he has the power to fly. Then, if he shoots himself, he has super strength. He can stab himself again to go back to be able to fly. I think it's obvious that this character is extremely suicidal and depressed, but lacks the real courage to let others kill him, because when he killed himself for the first time, he became scared. Okay, now you know what this character's deal is. Back to more about his power. When he first has the power, he can kill himself and use one power, but as he ranks up, he can still store other powers to use once while he has the original power active. I.e., example, he can fly because he stabbed himself, but the previous power he had was strength. He can use that strength once while being able to fly. After that use, he'll lose the power of strength and go back to just being able to fly. This can stack 7 times when he's at his strongest. So, if he's at his rank 2 or whatever, and he can store one power, he's able to fly, and his previous power was super strength. So he's flying, he uses his super strength once. Cool, now he's just able to fly. And then let's say he kills himself, and then he has the power of super strength. Well, his previous power was to be able to fly. So he can fly once while having super strength, and then he'll lose the ability to fly and go back to just super strength unless he kills himself to go back to be able to fly. It's a little complicated, going to be very hard to write, but whatever. Alright, Noah Strong, a main antagonist. A gentle and kind person is the bad guy. He's not a psychopath or sociopath. He's genuinely a good guy with friends and family who grew up thinking killing a certain type of person is okay. In fact, great. What they look like. He's 6'3". He's 347 years old. He's white. He wears tan clothes. He's male. He's strong. And he's a very fit build. Personality, a very calm and organized person who has a very selective love. But even when those he loves die, he's quick to move on. Honestly, anything for his kingdom and the God of War. Their dimension. A graveyard of everyone he's ever killed. His victims wandered the yard, unwillingly teaching Noah the skills they've worked for. So, in his dimension is everyone he's ever killed. Yeah. His power. To use the combined strength and magic of the people he killed in whatever skills he forces them to teach himself. Which is OP. Like, having the combined strength and mana, or magic power, or whatever, of everyone he's ever killed, I mean, that's insane. If he kills someone kind of equal to him, he just doubled his strength. The one caveat being, he has to know the person has that skill in the first place to learn it from him. So, Noah can't learn cooking from a cook he killed if he didn't know they were a cook in the first place. So when Noah kills someone, they have to know the skills they have before he kills them to be able to learn it from them. And it's not like Noah just knows it automatically. He has to enter his dimension and be thoroughly taught by these undead enemies the skills that they have. Weakness. His weakness is offspring of the God of War, so his power is capped at just below God level, so as to not overpower his father. He can beat him. You can't beat him unless your body is at demigod level like him, or you become a god. So he can never be a true god, but he is a demigod. Because he's so powerful, another weakness of his is he can't leave his kingdom, which is outside of his assigned domain. He is a leader of the kingdom, by the way, of a kingdom, and he can't leave it. This is just so he doesn't go and kill the MC. Alright, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 other characters, but I'm getting a little tired and I don't want to keep talking, so I'm going to end it here.